electric computer was invented in 1946. It was called the ENIAC. This computer cost $18 million to produce, took up the size of a few rooms, and it could only do 18 calculations per second. That still seems really fast, as the average human can only do 1.5 calculations per second. Ones that are more able to cognitively think of that sort of stuff. 55 years later, we now have the iPad 2, which is only $500 and can run 1.7 billion computations per second. The power of computers has been stated multiple times that it continues to grow exponentially, and this has not faltered yet. A funny little fact. Popular Mechanics said 50 years ago that in 50 years, computers might weigh less than half a ton. Now they are 3 ounces and small. Another part of being efficient and going on. Handwriting versus typing. Typing is much cleaner. You can type on average about twice as fast as the average person can write when you have practice using typing. And with handwriting, it's just not as easy to read. Not everybody has got great handwriting. My mom has wonderful handwriting. I do not. She tried and failed. And not only that, computers, because of our lack of recovering ideas, has the wonderful capability of data storage. And not just handwritten notes and things like that, but music, videos, and other data that we find relevant and necessary to our daily lives. To give you an idea, it's 16 gigabytes. Little micro SD card, about that big. Little tiny thing. Hold about the data of about 8,700 notebooks worth of data. And that's double-sided and writing on both sides of the page. That's a lot of data. And then if you had all that data, you would have to go through it to find just the one information you want, the little bit of information you want. With data storage, it's much easier when you store things in files and folders. It allows for much easier access. Ding ding. Moving on. And the computers are environmentally friendly. It saves paper that most people would have to use to store data, and reduces the waste of recycling that paper. Studies have been done, and it shows that the average student will not look at the same piece of paper more than once before throwing it away. And this is true for most things. Now, there are other documents that are held onto. Not only does it save on paper, which is always good, everybody's for saving the environment, but it saves on other expenses such as printers and printer time. Now, schools will never be able to go truly paperless, but nearly paperless is always better than using paper for most things. As one example, a teacher using technology and the use of computers he had an average of 200,000 copies of various things he printed for his students in a given year. Putting that on CDs, he basically eliminated that 200,000 copies of various multiple-page splits of paper. So, how does one do it? Mr. Speaker, how do you... Well, that's all great now, but computers are expensive. Yes, computers are expensive. Most schools have several computer labs. The one at Lander Valley High School has 3 different computer labs. Most of those computers cost twice as much as a standard laptop. So if you think of turning each one of those into 2 laptops, that high school currently has a little over about 2,500 computers. So right there would cover most of the expenses right there. By reducing paper, the average school spends about $25,000 on paper a year. That's just printer paper for all the various printers, printing what the teachers and students do alike. So by reducing that to a much lower level, you have $25,000 to spend on paper. You can also apply for grants. A school in Powell has applied for a grant and has received it, and now has laptops for every student in their high school. In conclusion, by having computers integrated into schools, it allows students to become more efficient and use technology that is being further integrated into businesses and everyday lives through various social technologies and business applications. It reduces the waste of paper and other services in schools, and excuse me, I totally lost my thought. Reduces waste in schools, and it allows for each student to become more productive and learn the ways of what our world is further going to, and how we will. Now, society in 50 years will probably have more computers and ways to use it than you could even imagine. But, thank you.
Nice.